Welcome to AIQ, the Artificial Intelligence Quotient, a podcast series dedicated to discussing the general queries around artificial intelligence and data science profiles. Today's topic is to discuss about most general queries around resume creation in the data science profile or an AI profile. So let's start with the very first question in which we are going to talk about what are the major sections which are required in an AI profile.
Hi everyone. I think that's a very good question that I have been receiving quite a lot on my social media as well. So the major most sections, I think they are mostly common with other profiles also. Like you need to add the summary, the education part, some projects, some your achievements. Apart from that, if you have done some good certification like Data Camp or Andrew Ng's machine learning course, you should add that too. For first and foremost, you should be adding your projects from your professional profile if you are not a fresher. If you are a beginner, I think your Kaggle projects and other side projects that you have done, you can add them.
So let's talk about the first section of the resume, which is the summary. How should we write it? What are the major things to highlight in that? And let's say if somebody is having a lot of experience around various domains as well, should that be also included or not?
So I think there is no golden rule for this. You can write your summary in any way, the first section of your resume, but do remember that any place where the first section is the most important one. So eventually that 2 to 3 liner that you're writing should capture the entire summary of your resume. All the highlights, all the key points. It should not have any filler text. It should give the person an idea what the person has done in just a 3 or 4 lines. So do remember this. I think else it's up to you.
So let's say if somebody is trying to break into an artificial intelligence profile and somebody is having a lot of experience in, let's say, automotive side, wherein they maybe didn't get indulged into much of the AI work. So should they also include it or should they exclude it? Because if they exclude, then they would be missing out on a, let's say, one of the major achievements in their life or one of the most important companies which they worked for.
Why to exclude? I think, to be honest, if you have applied in any of the job roles that are coming on LinkedIn or any other platform, usually there are 2 sections right now that I'm seeing. One is what is your experience and other what is your experience in the domain. So these are 2 different things where I have seen, we have been also receiving some resumes where people have been working in automotive industry, chemical industry, geological industry. They're working for 3 to 4 years and then eventually they're trying to switch into data science. So this is completely fine because at times it's not just the technical knowledge that the person is looking for, but they're also looking for some knowledge within the working experience, like within the domain. So if you are from the same domain, even if you're not from the same domain, I feel you should definitely include this because there are certain work ethics that a person learns, certain professional skills that are irreplaceable and is common for every profile.
Well, it does make sense. So let's talk about the next section, which is, I think, the most valuable part in a resume, which is about your certifications and your projects. So this is not just about including both, but what should be more preferred than the other. And let's say if somebody is having a lot of certifications, but they haven't done much projects. So how should it be kept in the resume?
I think, to be honest, if you have been into the online world, the number of certification has increased a lot. Every other company is providing you certifications and all. How valuable they are, you don't know. So eventually my judging criteria usually when I'm taking an interview is basically the projects that guy has done. Because to be honest, you are not very sure how the person has passed that particular certification. Right? So I think projects any day should be given more weightage than certifications. Having said that, certifications are also important because if you are a fresher or if you haven't got that domain work, so at that time it gives you an authority. The person who is judging you knows that at least he has done the baseline stuff so that he can be judged. He knows the basic things.
Well, let's say if somebody is not having much projects, should they go somewhere to do those projects or should they have more projects? Should they work on their resume to include more projects in that? Or should they just go with the certification on 1 or 2 projects with the certification helps you to do itself?
No, I think to be honest, quality is any day more valued than quantity. So you should not be looking to do many things, but you should be looking to do quality things. So even if you are like, I remember selecting a guy who has done Titanic project. I think it's one of the most basic projects in this particular field, a Hello World sort of a project. But eventually the guy has described it so well that I came to know that he is able to capture the data science stuff, the data science knowledge that I am looking for. So I think quality should be your goal. You should be doing the best of the things, and certification, as I already told you, to be honest, I haven't find any certification, any course which is providing you with some great capstone projects. They are all baseline. I myself have done data camp, and to be honest, I didn't find it connecting to the real world. So certifications are fine if you are a beginner, but I think projects, again, the quality of the project matters a lot.
Well, that is quite informative because from what I was aware, DataCamp is one of the most competing and cutting edge courseware provided out there. So let's move forward now. Let's talk about what are the sections which we can ignore in the resume which we shouldn't keep. Like one of the sections which I remember is hobbies. So how important is hobbies or some other sections and whether to keep them or not?
See, to be honest, on the internet you will find a lot of templates that will ask you to enter this detail or that detail. You will and ask yourself whether this section is helping me to compete with the thousands of people who are adding their resume for the job or not. So basically, as you told, hobbies is something. I remember a guy posting that I won the spoon race competition in school. Do you really feel that it will help you out? Then you should definitely add it up. If you don't, you should cut it off because the market out there is cutthroat. There are thousands of resumes that everyone is receiving, every company. So eventually shortlisting becomes very tough. So you need to be very, very crisp. Anything associated with data science or AI or secondary associations are also fine. Like for example, if you have worked on some SD project, some software development, that is fine because some way or the other it will get used. But like for example, I won the Sanskrit chanting competition, it won't help you.
Well, that totally makes sense because in a resume, it's all about how relevant you are, not how long you are or how much things you have achieved in life. It's about how much relevant those achievements are regarding this profile or regarding this application which you are going to do. And that can decide a lot of things. I totally agree to that. So let's discuss the next part. I have heard that many resume reviewers or let's say the HRs and decision makers, they instantly reject those resumes which are not of one page. So what do you think is the right approach, and based on your hiring experiences, what have you been preferring so long?
So I will tell you a story from my hiring experiences and like where I applied. So I remember during my internship I had a 1.5 or 2 page resume where a guy messaged me, the recruiter, saying that please convert it into one page and then send me. But not all. And to be honest, since my college days, I had a resume of 2 pages. Not because I was filling filler items, but it was all projects, all the YouTube stuff, the Medium stuff that I've been doing. So it was all relevant. And I got shortlisted also. So it's not like that ki everyone is looking for 1 page resume. But I feel that if you're not filling up stuff, like don't try to write extra things just to fill up the length, as we discussed earlier. If you're relevant things, you should not look for the length of the resume. But I feel that alongside, if you want to have 100% go, and at times ATS might reject a resume. So that can be the case. So if you can incorporate everything into 1 page, that would be great. But don't try to rub off your major achievements just to convert it into 1 page. And at times I have seen certain resumes that look very cluttered when they're trying to get everything into 1 page. So don't do that. Make it very clean. If it gets into 1 page, that's great. But if it doesn't, don't worry about it because length would be the last thing that I would be thinking of when selecting a candidate.
Well, that certainly makes sense. One should not exclude the relevant experiences if it is not fitting in 1 page. Let's move forward. Let's talk about what are some factors which can improve your resume. Let's say the worded factor, or let's say some grammatical checks, or let's say how much spacing there should be between the sections there. What should be the design of the resume? should you actually go for a professional design or a professional resume designer, or should you actually use Microsoft Word or some of the other commonly used softwares to design it or make it?
To be honest, so there are a couple of things that I have experienced so far that you should always keep in your head. One thing, the crispness of the language that you're using. Don't try to write paragraphs explaining the entire project then and there in the resume. That resume is just the highlight of you. So eventually, when you're appearing for an interview, eventually there would be something to talk about with the recruiter also, right? So you are just giving the highlight of the project and then let the discussion go on in the recruitment when you appear in the interview. Don't try to write everything. And at times I have seen the most important part of an AI resume is the metrics. So people have written, I built this classifier for this data set, but they didn't mention the metric. You need to mention the metric, because eventually, depending upon that, I would be able to make out how good the solution was, number one. And number two, what was the business requirement of this? In terms of business also, if you can provide the metrics, that would be great. Like for example, I reduced the time consumption for this particular XYZ job by 50% by doing this. So that would be a great booster, rather than mentioning accuracy was 90%. So these are the points that you can think of. Apart from that, do provide your Git repo, Kaggle profile link. Do make sure that these are present, because these are showcasing your experience. Apart from that, if anything extra you have done, you achieve some rank in a hackathon or you won some Kaggle competition, do mention it.
Would you also recommend some ATS, a free resume checker, which would give you a score of your resume before moving forward?
Yeah. Just missed on that. So like I have been using Resume Worded for a long time. Pretty good. It gives you a score. It gives you what points to improve on, and they are very relevant points, not like something just for the sake of improvement it is suggesting. So I think Resume Worded is something that I can think of right now. I have been using it for a long time. It's free also, so you can try it out.
Well, that's very helpful. Let's move to the next section, wherein we talk about the importance of the impactful projects, and maybe some examples on what could be the most impactful projects one could add in their resume to boost their success chances.
To be honest, for me, if I jump in and what I have seen, projects is the most important section in an AI profile, because for now in the education system in which we are having, there are no specialized data science and AI degrees coming in. Now they have started coming in, but they are not in full throttle. So I think the projects is something that gives the best idea about a person. So what you should try to do is to try to avoid the projects that are very common. Eventually you might be knowing, if you are into data science space like Titanic, household regression is something that everyone is doing. How would your resume will stand out with others? Just think on that. If thousands of resumes are coming, I'm quite sure 600 would be on classification. Can I build something else? Can I touch upon generative AI? Can I touch down upon NLP? Some complex projects. As and when you move on to complex projects, I think the crowd, you are moving away from the crowd, and that gives you a very real chance. And for now, I think a number of things are coming into the generative AI space. Try to explore the new spaces. You can go with time series, try to explore reinforcement learning. These are the new things that gives the recruiter an idea that you are willing to learn new things. So I think trying out different projects, try to be different from others. This is what I'm trying to say in terms of project. It should not be that complicated. It should not be that you need to build neural networks and stuff. No need for that. But try to be unique.
That makes sense. Although some of the topics which you talk about might not be very beginner friendly. So let's say for an absolute beginner, how should they go about choosing unique projects? What should be the exact process to come up with unique ideas? And what are some places where they can do some genuine research and come up with these ideas?
I think Kaggle is the best place. Anyone who asks me where to get new projects, where to get started from, Kaggle is the best place, because it has thousands of data sets, thousands of problems, thousands of hackathons going on at a given point of time. So it has enough of people also getting engaged. You get a number of notebooks also to see, okay, this is how I can approach this problem. So Kaggle is the best place. Apart from that, talking about uniqueness, I think in data science, uniqueness is everywhere. You have thousands of data sets lying, no one using them. Just pick up the data set and think of a problem. What can this data set be used for? So if you're not able to use Kaggle, that efficiently, you can jump onto open data sets and think of a problem what you can frame out. You can frame anything on your own and try to form an entire project around it. There is no need for like a guided solution or a guided questionnaire for you to get started on.
All right. Let's move to the next section, in which we are going to talk about and discuss someone should customize their resume according to the role. Let's say if they're applying for different roles, for an ML engineer versus a data scientist, or let's say an AI specialist, should they customize their profile according to the role, or they should let it be one resume for all the roles?
A nice question. I think I haven't done this, though if I apply for all the roles together. Because in India specifically, if I talk about, everything is amalgamated, everything is mixed. If you are working as a data science, you won't be a data science guy. You might be working on the MLOps part also. At times you need to build out the APIs also. So any role that is coming on any platform is not purely that. So don't get driven by the role name and even the JD at times. So once you get into things, I think most of the stuff would be done by you. That is around pushing the product to the production part. So if that revolves around writing APIs also, you would be doing that. If that revolves around deploying models also, you would be doing that. So what I feel is that role name is just a candy that is given to the candidates and nothing else, especially in India. I'm not sure how outside it works out. So you don't need to customize it. If you wish, you can play around a little bit. Like for example, in the JD they have mentioned we are looking for time series guy. So at that time you can change a little here and there the projects and stuff. But apart from that, I think a lot of customization won't be that helpful.
All right. That is insightful. Very insightful. That is all. I think this was a unique series of podcasts in which we discussed various factors. We talked about the importance of keeping various sections. What are the most important sections? We talked about projects versus certifications. And also we talked about excluding some factors like hobbies. But it all melts down to how relevant your profile is to the job which you're applying, and what are the most relevant experiences from your past experience which you can keep in the resume. If that is set, no one can stop you from actually standing out in front of the recruiter. So that's all. I'll see you in the next one.